This is Elvira, and you're listening to the Timo and Carly Show.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in Mindcrime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Hamburger Helper Harley.
That's me.
How the hell are you?
Cheeseburger hamburger helper, my friend.
Cheeseburger hamburger helper.
Yeah.
That's added. That's
like
loaded with fat and calories, my friend. Just like Ben Harley.
So just like myself. Yeah.
Right. Now, Mr. Ben Harley, since the last time we have spoken to our lovely, gorgeous audience, right?
Yeah.
I've been on the hunt. I've been hunting.
Yeah.
I have been in my Hicks blind.
Yeah, it's been quiet.
Looking across the eastern morning sky. Hold on. And then, of course, you know, Mr. Ben, I like to trap in the Hicks grouse, right?
Right.
And let me get my Hicks call out.
Okay.
Shh, there's one. Mr. Danny Hicks, he's right here in studio.
Danny Hicks.
Mr. Danny Hicks,
no wonder you guys never shoot my ass, because I come out of the West. God damn, pick up a map, Timo.
I knew I had something wrong, Harley. Where the hell were you?
California West. California West. Got it?
That's right. Go west.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Mr. Harley, you lunatic.
How you doing, Danny? You handsome devil, you.
I'm good, but now listening to Timo talking about hamburger helper, I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
We need to eat more in these parts.
Hamburger helper. That got me through my college years.
I love that stuff. I still eat it every chance I get, man.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You can gourmet that too. You can gourmet it out if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have some ragu pizza or Chef Boyardee's or ragu.
Chef
Boyardee. We have some of those pizza in a box deals.
Oh,
that we're going to make this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, that's got the good sauce in it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I love
cute. You and Danny sitting there making pizzas together.
That's something. Domestic bliss.
Yeah.
Right. So we all just got back in reality here in the space-time continuum, as we call it. By the time you hear this, it'll be about a week before here. But we just got back from Retro Invasion Weekend in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland.
Yes.
Avon Lake area, I think. Avon,
is that what it
West
is?
Lake. Yes, something like that. Yes.
Well, you're
West
indigenous to the Ohio region, so you know these things.
Yeah. And I actually took a trip a little ways away from, not too far from the hotel. I don't want to. Right. I get lost easy, you know. So.
Right.
I did venture a little bit of ways. It was, it's really nice around there. Very nice area.
That wasn't too bad. Yeah. We went to Melt. That was the first time we went to a Melt restaurant. That was pretty good.
You guys did go?
Yeah, we went.
Yeah, we went Sunday night. We went because we stayed till Monday, so we went Sunday night. We were looking for something to do. Went out there. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we picked some up on Saturday night there.
Do they not have Melt in your neighborhood?
No, and I'll be damned. They better get it here soon.
It's a hell of a menu. I mean, geez,
oh my God,
takes 2 minutes a small boy to pick the damn menu up.
I know. And then I was like, well, they have half sandwiches. Oh, that's even better for me. Not that I'm just only going to eat half a sandwich. That means I can get 2 half sandwiches, right? So
that would make a whole, Ben. Yes.
Right, but they were 2 different ones, my friend. So I think I got a deep fried lasagna one, and there was
whoa. Deep fried lasagna?
Yeah,
that's healthy lasagna. On so many levels.
Yes. And then I chased that with, I think it was the peanut butter and banana special.
Oh my!
Too.
Wow!
I didn't eat it. Yeah, well,
then you can always
bites of that one.
You can always get a deep fried Twinkie too. So,
oh yes,
yeah. I did not get one. I was going to get one until I found out it was real crunchy. And I should explain to your listeners, guys, that my voice isn't always like this. As of course, you guys have heard me on the show before. It's just it just doesn't work very well anymore, guys. That's all. It just doesn't work very well anymore, and that's all there's to it. So if you
it's worked so good all these years, Danny.
If you don't like it,
Sounds good enough to us.
Change the channel.
I still have a sneaking suspicion, Mr. Ben Harley, that people would still rather listen to him than listen to us. What do you think?
Of course they would.
Yeah, of course.
I think so too. Well, let's backtrack here.
Mama raised no dummy. Yeah.
Well, she did, but that's your brother, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's we call him dummy.
My parents didn't have children that lived.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. Not quite that far, Danny, but how the hell have you been since the last time you've been here?
I don't know.
Oh, good.
I don't even remember the last time I was here. I mean, I still can't figure it out. We've been talking about it for 3 or 4 days. I still don't know when I was
Dead Kennedy show when Harley was here.
Yeah.
Was that the last time I was here?
Ones.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So that was...
yeah, I still don't remember.
That was...
I'm sorry, I just
That's
don't...
how memorable it was, yeah.
So my life was a fucking mess, just like everyone else's. So does that answer your question?
It was a little over a year ago. I think a year and about a month or two ago.
Yeah, you told me that, and I still don't remember.
Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I guess I've been fine. I mean, everything's as good as it gets, so I've been great.
You've been doing any shows or any movies or anything to speak of?
I still don't remember. No, I've just been enjoying the good life, man. Just playing, sitting around playing with my grandkids and trying to stay out of trouble. And I've been largely successful in that endeavor, which is probably the first time in my life that I have.
There you go. Better late than never, Mr. Danny Hicks. Better late than never.
This is true.
Yeah, I just wish I had a better reason for it other than being just fucking old and beat up. You know,
well, bored. Bored's a good one.
I wish it was because I'd made healthy choices in my life. You know, but no, it's because I'm old and beat up. But no, everything's fine. Everything's good.
Good. Well, we did go to the inaugural Retro Invasion weekend this past weekend. And it was funny on the way back, Harley, I was telling Danny, actually I was telling Danny and the NGO, I said, when we go to a convention, we really, really bring home some stuff. I had some posters. Let's see, I had some of those pop-up picture things I got, and then by golly, I had a little Danny Hicks in the back seat with a sold sign around him, and we really bring home something.
You really did.
I forgot to have him sign himself, though.
You bring home some crap is what you bring home.
Next time, sign yourself. That would have cost me more.
Nah, you can't afford that.
Yeah, the autograph would have costed an extra, couple grand or whatever. So, but it was a good time. Now, this was a first-time show. Yes. And so there was things that need improving, of course. Little things like signs out in the hallway. I think Joe, like mid-show, was figuring out, we need to get somebody in the PA to let people know when the panels are and things like that too. But in fairness, first-time show, wasn't wall-to-wall people, but it seemed like it was relaxed and smooth.
Sure.
I mean, as much as it can be. I mean, people might have wanted a few more people there to sell something or whatever.
Except when the vendors got together with their pitchforks and, and shovels and marched up the hill to Joe's house.
If you get enough poster vendors at a show, that happens at a good show.
Yeah, it's
just for fun. Yeah. Just for fun. But it was relaxing and it was nice. And it wasn't a high stress show.
No.
That I appreciated. I appreciated it very much. Let's see. We had a lot of good vendors were there. We got to see our pal DVD Bob.
We did.
Greg and Jill were there. Buzz was there. We got
the Timo and Harley show was there, which is something we haven't seen in a long time.
That is correct.
That's right.
And Timo and Harley hosted a panel for the cult classic film Intruder.
Yeah, that was fun.
We did.
So
that was kind of neat.
It was neat. And it was Danny Hicks and Bob Kurtzman.
Bobby Kurtzman.
Yes.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun hanging out with both of them.
Yes, we
Danny
did.
Danny and Bob.
Yes, and Marcy, and then Marcy's daughter, and
Marcy,
her boyfriend.
Boss Kurtzman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, actually, her last name's King. Her last name is King. It's not Kurtzman.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, she was kind of like the Angio of their little thing they had going on there, because she was definitely putting her foot down and letting everybody know
you know
who the
what?
boss was.
They both could kick your ass, but Angio wouldn't.
That's true. You're right.
Marcy wouldn't a heartbeat.
But you need both kinds. You need both kinds. So it was a good.
I prefer the angio kind.
That's true. It's a little less painful.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of angio.
But very good time with them. It was good seeing them catching up. And for me, that was cool. And for you, Harley, I know you've met him a couple times. That was cool. But it couldn't have been half as cool as it was for Danny Hicks, who's worked with Bob since he got into Hollywood.
Yeah. You know, we should probably tell people who Bob Kurtzman is, because I don't. Maybe the average film guy knows, but I wouldn't know. Bob Kurtzman is he is the K part of KNB Special Effects, which doesn't exist anymore. But at one time, they were probably the premier special effects group in the motion picture industry. Bob Kurtzman's an absolute genius when it comes to making those things. And he's made so many monsters. I mean, I couldn't even count them all. But I first met him while working on Evil Dead 2 in 1986. Wow. So that's when I met him. And then the first big show not big show, but the first movie that they worked on as K&B was Intruder. So, and it was kind of an Intruder weekend. So that's why we were both there, and that's why it was really good to see him. I always enjoy seeing Bob, but this time was really special because it was he and I kind of working together again.
Right. And again, it was low stress, so there wasn't a whole lot of hubbub. Yeah. And so it was nice to relax and actually sit back and chat with everybody. And it was fun.
That pool was a disappointment because it was sub-zero.
Oh, was it really?
Oh my God! Yeah, it's not even a heated pool.
It's not
inside.
Well, it's kind of indoors, so it still had to be. It didn't have a roof on it, did it?
Yeah,
it had a roof. Huh. Oh, I was disappointed. I dipped my toe in, and that was enough for this guy.
And you left your toe there when it cracked off?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cryogenically froze it there.
That's what that was. I thought it was a peanut.
It tasted funny, didn't it?
It's a good thing you didn't dive in.
Yeah. Them two they didn't last too long in there. They braved it for a little bit.
So that's what happened. I didn't know it was that cold. I didn't realize it was that cold. I didn't hear that. Yeah.
Awful. Yeah.
When I checked in, they said, don't worry, Mr. Hicks, because it was about 9:45 or something. They said, don't worry about it. It's really noisy out there now, but we closed the pool at 10 o'clock, and that's it. And I guess they're serious. I mean, even the grown-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was a little disappointing, though, too. I would have liked to have seen a little party going on out there and stuff. But growing pains, Mr. Ben Harley.
That's
growing
right,
pains. That's right for the show. I had fun, though.
I had a great time. I had a very good time.
I had fun. And again, it was a first-time show. A few people showed up. I had a good time. That's all I care about. Now, I think the next show that he's doing is November 1st. That's a day after Halloween. Don't know if this kid's going to make that because it's basically a 2-day journey.
Yeah,
for me to get there, and that's wrapped around Halloween. I got 11-year-old. He's gonna be 12 at that point. So, and I'm kind of an 11-year-old or 12-year-old when it comes to Halloween anyway. I don't like leaving.
I go more like 9-ish. When did he decide to do the November show?
I do not know that.
It must have been like this weekend or this past weekend, right?
He was going to do a second show. He's been talking about doing one in Nashville too.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about the November 1st show, whether or not that's a Nashville show or he's going to go back to Cleveland yet. I'm about to find out. We'll have to keep everybody posted.
I hope he slows down a little bit because that to me is the absolute kiss of death is when they try to get too big too fast.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
We will see. We shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see what goes on. But again, good time. And thanks to Joe and everybody that was helping out there at Retro Invasion Weekend. Had a good time. Extra special thanks to Bob Kurtzman and Marcy and company too. Had a real good time hanging out with them all weekend.
They did a very good job. Joe and his crew did a very, very good job. I mean, everybody says, even though it was a first time show, well, no, you don't have to say that. I mean, it was a good show. I don't give a shit when you did it. It was it was a good show. It could have been run a little bit better, like you said, with the making announcement and stuff like that, because people were a little confused about what was going on, myself included. Thank God I don't have to worry about it. People just come and get me and drag me wwherever I have to go. So.
We do that here too.
Yeah, they do. Once I get on the airplane in Los Angeles, you guys are on your own. Because unless somebody tells me where I'm supposed to be and takes me there, I'm not going. So I'm a little spoiled, I guess.
Yeah,
it was a good show.
It was a good show. I mean,
it was.
Yeah, and some people had to have lost money because people lose money every show.
Yeah.
And so that's always disappointing. But I go to a horror hound where there's 40,000 people there, and I got to roll pennies for gas getting home. I mean, it's like it's hard for me to even make a dime at those things because it's so big and so many people. And we've said this on the show before. I prefer smaller shows. Me too. I like the speed of them. They're more relaxing. They're more personable. I find that you can find more things at a small show. You have more time to look because you don't feel like you're missing out on the other 5 million square feet of whatever the heck people are selling across the way there, and stuff. So it's a lot easier to kind of look around, see what you got. And there was plenty of cool stuff there.
There was.
To buy.
Even though I never buy anything. I mean, I just, because it wasn't real busy at my table, I got to actually walk around and look at some of the stuff the vendors are selling. You guys sell some really cool shit. You
there
really
was some
do.
nice stuff there. Yeah. There was some really, really nice stuff there. The vendors were a great show. If you were a fan walking around, there was plenty of stuff to look at or buy. It was nice. Yeah.
I mean, if you need some baby bottles with vampires on them, that's the place to go. You want some diapers with a headless corpse on them? That's cool. That's
I think we bought a couple of the chocolate coffins with pumpkins inside.
That was, by the way, that was great chocolate.
That was
Sydney
very loved that stuff. She loved it. Yeah, she had a good time. So I'm glad they got to come too. So that was neat for me. Right. And I'm glad you guys got to meet Sydney and Wendy.
That's the first time I'd ever met them. That's the first time I ever met Wendy. That's the first time I'd ever met her. So so I'm glad you guys got to. And it was a lot of fun too for them, I think. And Sid had a good time.
Yeah. Well, and of course, Angio got to come, so that was the big. That was the fall
best,
for that one. Yeah. So we were very, very happy. She had such a wonderful time. She got a little upset when she got home because it was back to normality. And she's like, I felt normal for a couple of days. It was great. I was like, that'll come again. That was a little. Got to have a little break. Taste. Yeah, you got to have a little break. Keep the spirits going. So.
Well, we were so happy to have her there, and she was a lot of fun. And boy, Sydney was in love with her.
Oh, was she ever?
I watched that.
She was. Yeah,
I watched that happen.
Yeah.
I took Danny home. I thought she was going to take you guys' heads off if you didn't take her home. You guys can take Danny. I'll take Angie back. That's okay.
Yeah.
Do I not have anything to say about these things?
No, not really.
No, I guess not. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So anyway, so it was a good time. Everybody had a good time together. It was nice to see everybody. And also, Mr. Ben Harley, now, I was a little disappointed. Danny was not disappointed about this. But I was highly disappointed there wasn't any 6'5" clowns walking around the potentated hay.
Yeah.
But
I was also very,
okay, but apparently you went back to Toodly-Doo, to Toledo.
Yes, we did.
And you guys went into the wrestling ring, am I not mistaken?
See, Tim, wait, he's just making all this shit up. He doesn't have any 6 foot. I told you they wouldn't come because they're not real. He's just imagining all this shit.
I'm going to quote Gene Wilder from Blazing Saddles when they said he couldn't draw fast. Oh dear. Oh dear. Danny's going through a table. Danny's going through a table. So I spent a month, Danny, on the show saying, Ben, you can't let the clowns or Sydney put Danny through a table.
Right.
His neck can't handle that kind of stuff. And he was promising me.
What are you talking about? That's the strongest part of my body.
Right now, yes, it sure is.
It's made out of titanium, for God's sakes.
Okay, we didn't want to pay for the table, okay?
Yeah, all right.
Mega Danny,
Just don't touch any other part of me, because that will break and fall off.
Yeah.
Mecha Danny.
Mega Danny,
yeah. So, but now apparently this match was off the hook, Mr. Ben Harley, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. There was, this was a no disqualification weapons match. Yes, Tim. And,
anybody bring a gun?
No.
Well, see, there you go. There you go.
About it, even one that had the thing that said "bang" out of it, even something like that. But no gun. But yes, this was quite the match. Yeah, it not a lot of it in the ring, a lot of it outside. And it was funny because there for a while I got so caught up in it, I was actually enjoying it that I thought, I forgot I was actually part of it. So I thought, shit, I better get back to work here.
Were you clapping and stuff? Did you sit down and get like a popcorn?
Yeah, I was
you should do that sometime.
Yeah.
Like the first time I ever worked with Liam Neeson. I mean, he's doing his lines so wonderfully. I forgot when it was my turn to talk.
Yeah.
I said, but don't stop. Keep going. This is
stop.
Really cool.
Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah.
And cut.
That's kind
Hicks,
of
what's wrong with you?
Yeah. He said, I was just enjoying seeing it.
But it went well.
Yes.
Are you guys still title holders?
Yes. We are the title holder. Yeah, I had to.
Was it clean?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's a no disqualification,
okay,
so
everything's
as clean as it can get. Yeah,
gotcha.
pretty much.
Okay. A clean pin. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a 1, 2, 3, but it was funny because I had to jump in at one point to save a pinfall. And Ray Orndorff, usually the referees pick their hand way up and bring it down, but Ray wasn't. He's doing it real close to the mat, so that made me have to run a little faster. And
it's a fast count.
Oh, yes, I had to leap and I monkey flipped him.
Now, is that an actual thing, a monkey flip?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well,
it is.
Yes,
it is.
Interesting.
This was kind of, and actually it was kind of fun. It looked pretty good. And one of the guys made a GIF out of it. So it has me.
I saw that. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, you come tumbling through the ring.
Yeah.
He tumbles in one side and tumbles out the other in one motion. It's pretty interesting, actually. The fluid motion.
Yes, they quite enjoyed it. They thought it was pretty good. So
could you walk the next day, Ben?
Yeah, but
you have a little hitch in the giddy up, did you?
Yeah, like I was telling Tim, I think I stripped a gear. I'm really, I'm not feeling it this week, but it might be because after all it took to get to Cleveland and then driving from Cleveland right to no disqualification weapons match was a little bit much for this guy.
Just in time. Okay. I thought we were going to be late.
Yeah.
Let's get in there and relax.
Yeah, exactly.
I was still waiting for Sydney to pick Danny up over her head and just throw him right into the pool.
See, the only thing I had going for me is I could outrun her.
Yeah.
Those tiny little legs of hers just going like hell. I could still outrun her.
Yeah, that's true.
She almost caught me a couple times.
Picks him up over her head. Okay.
Hey, okay, yeah.
I got the okay thing. I knew that. I've been going on the okay thing for a while.
Okay.
Every time Angie says something, okay.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a great. I'll tell you, it was a great match. Yes, we are still the champs, and now we have to do a 6-man tag. Because old Ray Orndorff got his little feelings and his head cheese grated a little bit, so I think that hurt his feelings a little. So now we have to do a 6-man tag with him.
So are you one of the 6 men?
I might. It depends if Kevin shows up or not. If
Kevin is a crackhead, so I mean, you probably talk him into it pretty easy, or coax him in there with like a pipe or something. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it was interesting without him this time, though. I did miss him, but yes, I had to do a little bit more, which is okay. I don't mind so much, but I will say your nerves are tested a little when you have to run into a ring that are tacks and barbed wire bats and all things strewn about, and you have to run in there and do something. I didn't really warm up to it as much as you might think.
It takes a special kind of stupid.
Ben, yes, you've lived your entire life close enough to Detroit that you run away from that shit, not to
I know.
Never towards, especially the bat with the barbed wire. That's just that's going to leave a mark.
Yeah, I got away from that. Danny, I came out there. I did have some tacks on the bottom of my shoes, but other than that, I played it off.
Good thing you were wearing shoes.
Yeah, I played it off pretty well. So, cool. I did the hot foot routine, Danny. You'd have been proud of me. No. So we did that.
Very good.
And then I hot footed it out of it. Let's say that
like a true heel.
Like a true
heel to toe. Out.
Yeah. But we went over well too.
Good.
The crowd was behind us.
Very good.
I'm surprised. It surprises me still.
I'm surprised anybody likes her. He wants to look at you.
Yes.
I know how you feel.
Exactly.
It takes a special kind of talent to do that kind of stuff, man. You have to be a stuntman, actor, lunatic, all rolled into one.
Yeah, thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. And you got to make kids cry, too.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So,
well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
We are currently enjoying our Hicks season. Had a few doctor's appointments and things like that during the day, Mr. Ben Harley around here. But that's okay because Danny only takes awakes later in the day now. His normal state of being now is slumber. So really, at this point, I'm not sure if he knows if he's really truly a Viking or if he's stuck in Millstadt, Illinois.
No, I'm pretty sure. The only thing that really confuses me is there's no corn or soybeans growing outside. So I don't know. It's June. So come on, guys. Yes.
Well, it's worse up in Ohio because Ben was just telling me that it's raining. It's raining now, isn't it? It's been raining, right?
Yeah, we
built an ark and it sunk, right?
It sunk. Yeah, it got
way down upon the Maumee River.
The Maumee River's in my backyard now.
Ouch.
No, not quite. But
okay. Had me fooled. I thought Matt Anthony Wayne was coming up out of the depths.
Yeah. I'm going to be surfing. I'm going to be surfing the Mad. Yeah.
It's not 1812. Stop it. Yeah. Well, very good.
Surfing the Maumee.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Ben Harley, now we are going to review another Boris Karloff movie because we are on a Karloff freak out, which I think we're going to...
freak out. We are.
Yeah, we're going to kind of hold that one off for next week, I do believe, but Senior Danny Hicks over here was not in town whenever we watched the Devil Commands. So we are going to review this film, and Danny's going to sit here and be absolutely stunned and thrilled and amazed by what we come up with here.
That's right.
There you go. See, he can only breathe. He can hardly breathe. He's choking, Mr. Ben. Heimlich maneuver. Here it goes. So, but let's... I'm
going to do that very well. Trust me, I won't make a peep. I won't interrupt you guys or anything the whole time you're talking.
All right.
I'm going to believe you. So, so why don't we just start here, Mr. Ben Harley? We're going to get out. We're going to get out movie guy. I talk about stuff we've watched, but we really didn't watch anything but each other. Over the last week or so, which was nice. It was nice seeing you guys and having us all together, having the old gang together, basically. We're missing a few people like Dead Dick Hammer, I don't know, John Dugan, and some other friends of ours that could have been there.
Shannon Van Meter, maybe.
Shannon Van Meter would have been fun, sure. But we had a good core there, Miss Ben Harley. Good core group there.
Yes, we did.
So we're going to review The Devil Commands here from 1941, Mr. Ben Harley.
Ooh.
So let's get out Movie Guy. Danny hasn't seen Movie Guy for a little while. No. Danny doesn't like Movie Guy.
I've seen him, but I haven't heard him, thank God.
Yeah, Danny's eyes roll when Movie Guy comes out, so he does not like Movie Guys. Like, you really don't need to do that.
Jerk.
He's a jerk.
Movie Guy's a dick.
He's a prima donna.
Yes, absolutely.
And he talks funny.
He talks funny,
So, all right. Hey, Movie Guy? Yeah! Have you seen Danny?
Fuck him!
Alrighty, he's ready to go and surly as shit.
Got my money?
No!
Whoa!
No.
Then you ain't fucking me.
Sorry.
All right, let's get up. The Movie Guy, come on over here and give us the storyline, plot, synopsis, whatever the shit you want to call it for The Devil Commands. All right, here we go. Scientist? I'm going to read this now. All right, IMDb. Literacy is not in wealth. It's not a strong point in the United States these days. So
it's just not in fashion.
I'll just read this as it's written, and then I'm going to read it phonetically correctly. Okay, here we go. Scientist becomes obsessed with idea of communicating with his dead wife. Right. Now let me add everything to you so that makes sense to all you people who paid attention in school. Here we go. A scientist becomes obsessed with the idea of communicating with his dead wife. There we go. See, a couple little adjectives, pronouns. You throw them in there, and it makes a world of difference. There we go. So, okay, Mr. Ben Harley, we are continuing now on our Boris Karloff freak out.
Freak out, my friend.
Yes. So this one is the Columbia film, The Devil Commands, of course, from 1941. This one, Mr. Ben Harley, this was the first thing that I noticed when we sat down and watched this flickeroony here. Was that this one was not directed, for once, by Nick Grende. Was not directed by Nick Grende. Yep.
Okay.
Well, and I think because there was no hanging. No hanging going on. No Nick Grende. Yeah, he's out.
Yep, I'm out.
This one, on the other hand, Mr. Ben Harley, big deal
thanks,
here.
but no thanks. Yeah.
This one was directed by Edward Dmytryk, which when I saw that, I looked at Angie. Edward Dmytryk directed this? She looked at me like, why, yes, he did. Who the fuck is Edward Dmytryk? And I'm looking at her like, okay. He just happened to be the director of the Caine Mutiny. Sorry. I knew exactly who he was. Back to Baton, Murder My Sweet. Yeah. Actually, he also directed Captive Wild Woman.
Really?
Do we still have to get to that one, don't we? We still need to. We still need to review that one. I think you got that one loaded up somewhere. I think.
Yeah.
So in the last movie, Karloff, he wants to bring himself back with his achy breaky artificial heart. Now in this movie, he wants to. His wife. He's a pretty nice guy. Karloff is okay. He's an all right fella. He's a decent Joe. In this movie, but then his wife gets she gets hit in the street by a car. While he's going into a drugstore or something for something
awful. Yeah.
It was a rough one. It was bad. It's bad. It was bad. And so then he decides that he's going to use his lie detector looking gizmo to communicate with her. Okay, so So that's kind of the plot of this one. So he's trying to communicate with the dead through this, pretty silly looking little gizmo type thing. And that is really that's the main crux of this movie.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a kind of a thin, weak story with a lot of sizzle all around it. A lot of Karloff and Edward Dmytryk directed this and that. But in reality, what you got here is Karloff being real sad. His wife dies. And he wants to talk to her some more. Yeah.
And then he meets up with a medium, doesn't he, Timo?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. So seances back in the early part of the 1900s. This is actually getting a little past that, to be honest with you. But in the early 1900s, seances were very vogue. Very in vogue. So this movie is a seance type of movie, but more of a mechanized. Because I think as they're doing the seance or something like that, he realizes that her spirit can communicate with this machine if the frequencies are right, just like people talk to Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as long as he's got his frequencies right, then he can talk to his dead wife, right?
And he needs some sort of a conduit, a person, and then he has kind of a somewhat of a not really a hunchback little henchman. He's a bigger guy.
No,
he turns him on to the medium.
Gotcha. Right. Yeah. Well, not only is the lie detector looking gizmo a Three Stooges production value, but that hulking manservant Carl, I believe that you're talking about, is played by Cy Schindel. He's also a Three Stooges heavy
alumni.
Yeah. So we got Three Stooges, and I'm going to throw this in here since I mentioned it. We're a little early in the review, but since I mentioned it, this also has Sheriff Ed Willis in the film, played once again by Kenneth MacDonald, otherwise known as Ichabod Slip in the Three Stooges. I Slip again is in the movie. No, look, these are Columbia movies, so this is back in the studio system. So of course, Three Stooges were Columbia. So we're getting some Three Stooges heavies in these movies, which I'm fascinated by. I'm having a ball. Watching these guys. So them too. So he needs a conduit. So the problem I have with this movie though is that the drama is just kind of, you almost really want to feel bad for Karloff.
Yeah.
And it's another hour and 5-minute movie, and there's just not enough momentum to give Karloff a lot of menace.
Sure. No, it's almost like because he meets up with that medium, finds out that she's a charlatan or whatever, but
she kind of influences him a little bit too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does have some sort of ability. Yeah. And he uses her and Carl or whatever, but he messes Carl up. He messes Carl up bad, and so then they have to flee town, and she does kind of use him or influences him.
So she's kind of the bad guy, basically.
Yeah, the so they flee time. To play parts unknown, and then once they arrived at town, then people start coming up missing because they need more conduits and stuff like that. So
nobody's lasting very long. It's almost like So basically, it looks like a Richter scale readout sheet. It looks like a normal graph like that. Okay, so it's just a normal, line graph, basically, in a way. And so he's convinced that his wife sent him a message, which the graph would show her signature correctly. It would basically show her frequency signature. So every time he gets another one of these conduits you're speaking of, he gets a little part of that signature to be replicated, but he can't get the whole thing yet. So he's basically using damn near everybody in spite of who they are. So the horror comes in where Karloff has basically lost his mind to the point that he'll put his daughter in this situation. He'll put anybody. He wants to speak to his wife so bad that he will put anyone around him in peril in order to do that or to prove that. So that's it.
Yeah, once they hit town, it's a small town where no one really gets murdered and people are coming up missing. And basically I love how the detective says, he just lays it out to him. He's like, and nothing like this ever happened till you moved into town.
We have a population of 37.
Now we're down to 30. And
and you're the new one. I wonder.
So I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah,
I've been saying week after week now because we've been on this Karloff freak out. I want people to watch these Karloff. Skip this one.
Yeah, it's only okay. Really.
It is. It's really like, and man, that gizmo. It does. It looks like a Three Stooges.
Yeah,
like a heart monitor was. Kind of thing. And there's clearly like a crew guy down there with a stick and a pen on it in his hand, rolling this thing around. It just doesn't hold up. Some of these movies hold up because they're really good writing. There's really good writing going on. Yeah. I'm not convinced on the writing on this one. I think it doesn't hold up mainly because the spooky technology is really quaint. I think he said last week they ran it on a steam engine.
A little coal fire there.
The whole thing is not as gripping. It just doesn't grab onto you like some of these other ones do. It's hard.
We gave it a shot, right, Tim?
We did. We gave it a shot, and I'm trying to decide whether to poop on it or not. You know what? I am. I'm going to be, only because it just doesn't stand up. And we're doing all these other Karloff movies. Had we done this on its own, like amidst doing things like from the 80s and 70s, or maybe just other movies, I might have given this a very mild grape bait, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not real sure. But given that we're watching these other Karloff films that are far superior to this, I think it deserves a. I like the people involved. Edward Dmytryk is brilliant. The supporting cast in this is fun. They're good. Everybody does a good job. Just the origin story it's just gone. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So it doesn't work like it used to.
No.
I think. So what are you going to do?
Yeah. I can't really poop on it, but it was just that. But man. Oh, how about this?
All right, there you go. So we got
just
2 little shards. Little shardy. little shardy things. Yeah. It's too bad too because I was kind of looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to all of these, and there's clunkers, and we're gonna be honest about it. This one's kind of a clunker. And neither one of us liked it as much. No, so I think it's not just a mood thing. I just think this movie just wasn't as good.
No, it's just
as the last couple. Before I hang, if Karloff is in threat of being hung, so far we're doing good. We're doing good, and I'm actually surprised I'm digging the Nick Grinde or Grind movies more than the Edward Dmytryk gave a stab at it, but maybe Nick said, "I'm not doing that movie. I'm not doing that one. You give you give it to Eddie.
That one sucks.
You go give it to Eddie." So, but again, fun to see the Three Stooges heavies, the villains in these movies too, with different roles. Because I watched so many Three Stooges. I know these guys I know exactly who these guys are, but I only see them in the Three Stooges. I don't watch a lot of the old Columbia movies. We've talked about this before on the show. They're not good about putting their movies out. They didn't make as many movies I'm interested in, blah blah blah. So I don't see many. And it's neat. It's fun to see these guys in other roles. Almost like it's fun to see the Three Stooges in other movies when they're just themselves. Acting in another film. Shemp did a lot of that. It's always fun to see Shemp show up in something too.
Yeah, he did that a lot.
So all right, Mr. Ben Harley, we're trailing off here talking about Shemp now. So it's
Shemp.
Okay, Danny Hicks, there you go. So now you know everything there is to know about The Devil Commands if you know nothing about it to begin with and you stumbled through a review of it.
Yes, I know. And you taught me everything you know, and I still don't know nothing.
Right. You're along with the audience.
Did you guys notice how quiet I was? I told you I wouldn't make a peep, and I didn't, did I? You didn't hear one peep out of me.
Nope. Super
He went
quiet.
into suspended animation, Mr. Ben Holly, by
can be
15 minutes.
I can be
He went to
trained.
slumber again.
I can be trained.
He fell back awake. Damn it.
He fell
There he
back
is.
into
There he
slumber,
is.
yeah.
Here he is. So, all right, let's get out of here, Mr. Ben Harley. So we are excited. We are in the midst of another Hicks season. We will have another show next week with our third wheel in Mind Crime, Mr. Danny Hicks.
Yes.
Maybe we should tell people who Danny Hicks is in case people live under a rock too, by the way. Maybe we should do that. Danny Hicks was an actor.
I am not an actor. I'm a movie star.
Evil Dead 2, Darkman, Spider-Man 2, Stalking Bigfoot.
Yeah. Intruder.
Intruder.
Yeah.
If
Foss commercials.
if you look at my IMDb, whatever it's called, I think they've got me like 30 credits or something like that. But I did over 80 different films, commercials, and I've been around. I've been doing it for 40 years.
Ouch.
Yes. Even an Ultraman episode.
Oh, yeah, you were in an Ultraman sub episode. That's right.
I was.
That's
Yes,
right.
I
I'm
was.
in Ultraman. And I got an Ultraman t-shirt this
I got to say, it's the monster. And I said it just as loud and proud as I could, boys and girls.
Boy.
It's the monster.
Well, next week, Mr. Ben Holly, we are going to we're going to do a special movie. And usually don't let the cat out of the bag what we're going to be reviewing next week, but we're going to do a spoiler, little teaser for you.
Sure.
I do not forget when someone tells me when they enjoy a film. And Danny Hicks likes about 3 or 4 movies. And one of them, he let the cat out of the bag again and told me that the original When the Earth Stood Still.
Great movie.
Yes.
Get to see Gort.
Yes. So,
yeah.
not exactly a request, but I'm sure he would appreciate watching this one versus Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny.
That name should not even be mentioned in my presence. I will hurt you.
Okay, Harley, come here so Danny can't hear. What he doesn't know, you know that poster you got me?
I'll kill
The Ice
you.
Cream Bunny?
I'll kill you.
Yeah, it's hiding underneath his bed right now because I haven't had a chance to hang it up on a ceiling above the bed.
I will hurt you. I will hurt you. You guys think I'm joking? I'm not. Honest to God,
Hey,
I hallucinate.
I looked high and low for that poster.
And he found it high.
Yeah.
So perfect.
And it took about, I think it came by donkey or Sherpa or
let
something.
me put it this way. If I find that poster anywhere where I can see it, I'm going to grab it in my 2 little hands and I'm going to start walking to Toledo. And when I get there, I'm going to hurt you with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do things
not even
that...
the clowns.
Now, I will stick it up one of those clowns' butt and stick the clown and the poster up yours.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay. So, and we're also...
Don't let Danny watch Birdemic then.
Please.
Don't let him
You
do
shouldn't
that.
have said that, though.
Oh,
Because I
no.
forgot about Birdemic until you just... And I do have the riff tracks. It's not
My
it's
God.
not-
I thought you guys loved me. Or why do you make
We
me
do
watch
love
this
you.
kind of shit?
Oh,
I
all
literally
misery
will
loves
pull
company.
my eyes out before I will watch that movie again.
yeah, I don't blame you there. So
Well, we promise everyone it won't be Birdemic. It won't be Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. It's going to be The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original one. And we are also going to discuss next week, Mr. Ben Harley, what have I been saying about the entire world? They've been listening to us. We started off with the Amazon Prime, but apparently the state of Illinois has been listening to us too because we're a legal state. We are a legal state. And I was not, 2 shows ago that we were begging the state. We were talking and it was heartfelt. And it was. And we were saying, we need to get this stuff going now. And they listened and they did.
Yes, they did.
Harley, if I would have known that like 10 years ago,
we started then.
I probably would have done the same
There's
thing.
something really important in there. You know, I asked him, if he thought any way, shape, or form he had any personal responsibility for that being the legislation being enacted. And he said no, but then we started thinking about it. And no, he probably did. So there's something to be said there, kids. If you really want to change the world, you can do it.
Yeah. You
can.
Write your senators.
Yep.
That's what I was
Write
doing.
your senators,
I was writing
call them,
constantly.
Talk to them. You can change the world for the better.
It's true.
Yes.
Absolutely.
God knows we can use your help.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Well, we will discuss that and many more things next week, Mr. Ben Harley. So until then,
goodbye,
stay
boys and girls.
spooky. We'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people. You too, Danny.
Yeah, man.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.